Okay, time to get this thing started. In case you're wondering, I decided to set up a channel and tell some of my stories, more for my grandkids, the ones that I have now, and the ones I will have in the future, because I know I'm going to die eventually, and I know there's going to be a lot of grandkids I'll never get to see. But I think if I do this, at least I get a little glimpse of their grandpa. So I decided to just start doing this. I'm going to try to do it once a week. Let's see how it goes. Anyway, I decided I want to do like 4 different parts to this. The first part is going to be a little history about me, about where I grew up, what I did. Try to think of funny stuff, to tell you. And I decided the first one I was going to tell is a story that if you know me personally, you already heard this story, because I tell this story to everybody. But if you don't know me personally, you haven't heard this story, so I'll tell you the story now. I grew up in El Paso, Second Ward. Everybody calls it El Segundo, apartments. We're quite poor. I'll talk about that some other time, but today I'm going to talk about something else. Anyway, we're quite poor, and concrete all around and everything. My grandmother used to come by every summer and pick us up and take us to Pecos, where she lived. And always used to love going over there because they had air conditioning. We didn't have air conditioning, and you live in El Paso in the summer, it's hell. So, but it's what you're used to. You're used to it. When you go to some place that's got it, it's like, whoa, I'm in heaven. So we used to love going over there. Anyway, one summer she comes over for us, and she tells me that she's got a new dog, got it for me, that I get to name him. And I was like, whoa, great, you get to have a dog. Every kid's dream is to have a dog, Where I lived at, we just couldn't have one. So when I finally get there and I see the dog, you know how kids are. They're really creative, You got a black dog, you name him Blackie. You got a brown dog, you name him Brownie. And if it's white, which this one was, solid white, I named him Whitey. And it was a great dog. We used to play all the time, had a lot of good times. Have a lot of fun with that dog. Loved that dog. One day I looked at the dog, and he had this tick right there, big old dot. And I was like, wow. I didn't want to get it off with my fingers, So I went inside the house, and they got this stuff called Hot Shot. I don't know if they sell it now, but Hot Shot is basically like Raid, except it's a pump. So I went inside the house and got the Hot Shot, went outside, got my dog, and just doused it big time. Just doused that dog, just doused it. And I stopped and I looked, and that the tick wasn't going nowhere. I was like, wow. I thought about it. I thought, well, maybe it doesn't work on ticks. Maybe it kills other bugs, but not ticks. So now I was thinking, wow. And I was like, wait a minute. I had just become a Boy Scout, and I had my Boy Scout handbook inside, and I remember something about it. So I went inside, grabbed my Boy Scout handbook, looked it up, and right in there it says that if I get a tick, to get a match and put it to it because it'll jump off. And I said, well, if it works for me, it should work for the dog. Got some matches, went outside, went up to my dog, lit the match, put it to the dog. What I didn't know is, because I'm a kid, kids don't know crap like this, is that the stuff I just sprayed my dog, it's like gasoline. I mean, I sprayed a bunch of it on there too. This stuff is like gasoline. So when I put the match to the dog just went, like, took off running, like, whoa! I freaked out, like, whoa! And then the dog ran underneath the house, because the house had a hole in the corner where you could have access to the pipes underneath, and they hadn't covered it up. It wasn't very big, but big enough for the dog to go through there, so he ran inside there. And I looked, and he's running back and forth, going, and I'm going, oh my God, I'm going to burn the dog and the house. I'm like, oh my God. So I run, grab the hose, get the hose, turn the water on, run back with the water, look underneath. By that time, he flamed out. And he's laying back there, whimpering and looking at me like, why did you do that? You know, the tick really wasn't bothering me that much. And I'm like feeling horrible. And my grandmother runs out of the house, not runs, but just comes to the door quickly. And she's got a belt in her hand already, you know, because she knows nothing good has happened. So she comes out and she says, what happened? And only words I got out of my mouth was, I set the dog on fire. And the beating began, and she whooped me without mercy. My brother and I were talking about it, Brother Benny. We were talking about this, and he says, yeah, I remember that day, man. I've never seen a guy get a beating like got a beating that day, you know. And I was like, yeah. But in a way, I kind of deserved it, you know. But even though I didn't do it on purpose, it is really stupid, you know. But, you know, that's how you learn stuff. Sometimes you learn the hard way. Oh, well.